Welcome back to London Invite 2025, free friendly Frisbee Friday for you. And we've got USA, Australia. Just put those in a different order, it's the same thing. Oz versus Germany here. Germany in the white, Australia in the yellow. A little bit different format to this game here as Germany get on the board with a nice clean hold to start. Benji and Steph Rapat. So rather than play like a full-length game to 15, we're actually having 3 short little games to 5, I think, to try and kind of simulate that short match scenario. Germany seemed entirely unflustered by the whole thing, Steph.
Yeah, it's free friendly Friday, as Benji said. There's going to be a few wrinkles, and that's why we're giving it out for free. I mean, there's plenty of reasons. One, we love the fans. One, we want you tuning in for more over the course of this weekend full of primetime action. But it's also a chance for them to really, this is a prep tournament for them, and this is a prep day for the prep tournament. And, you know, there's going to be games with more timeouts. There's going to be games with wrinkles. As Benji said, 3 games to 5, 1-0, a German hold on the first possession.
Nice clean hold for them as well. Doing it in quite a German style, I think, just slowly, methodically working it down the field. Who's your, not that obviously we're betting men necessarily, and obviously it's slightly different format, it's not high stakes, but what do you think of where these two teams are at the moment, Steph?
At the moment, these two teams are, you know, I think they're going to be both feeling confident. The Australian Crocs were silver medalists at the last iteration of the World Games. Germany were probably the breakout team, the first European team to kind of break into a semifinal.
I mean, 13-7 they beat USA in the pool stage.
Exactly.
Wasn't close.
I think Australia's brought a roster that is probably the closest iteration to their last World Games team as any country out there. Germany, on the other hand, is probably the team that has the most changeover across the roster, tip to tail. So, I mean, both high expectations, both coming off momentous last campaigns, and both surely ready to see what it feels like to start swinging against one another.
For me, the big question about Australia is who's going to replace that rock at the back for them. Tom Cupcake Tullett, I think this might be the man to do it. Alex Ladamatos, but Lado is first up. Puts that 2 far out in front for Phillips.
Yeah, just straight from the first throw. Those ones are tough. Jitters for sure. Lado is better than that, but first throw goes awry.
On this near sideline. Broken off into the center. Continued around. Now that one's going to be high. Can anyone pick it up at the back? No. Well, knocked out of that sideline by Alex Gann. Immediately picked up. Wondered if Cybert was going to bid on it. No. Phillips now. No, what an explosive athlete she is. Going short, Gann having got the block to get the disc back for the Aussies. Phillips again. Imagine the Aussies pretty at home here in the sweltering heat of London. Ladamatos. Going through his variety of fakes, does access that break side space. Gann wants to give off, doesn't see it immediately. Plenty of space on the break side. Australia recognize it. Instead, going through Georgia Egan Griffiths. Now, is Phillips going to be in the end zone? Not quite.
I mean, there's a stoppage. I don't think that's what they're discussing. It looks like the conversation's in the center of the field. Australia have certainly settled since a couple errors, both sides going either way. Lotto couldn't hit. Greenwald gave a disc back, and they've certainly settled, but must have been a pick, Benji, with the center of the stack repositioning.
So Phillips takes position just outside the end zone. Entering Gann slightly behind, but a good adjustment on the catch. And I think they're suckered in, thinking Phillips was going to clear into the center. She recognized that. Just bounces it back to the outside. Nice little break of force. Gets the Aussies on the board.
Yeah, easy does it for the score. Alex Gann, nice, poised and composed in the end. You know, I think there is a little case of jitters. The first throw from Lotto from the mark, walking it up, just misses. Greenwald, the overthrow. I thought there was a second chance for Conrad Schlur, to be honest, but it was gone. Alex Gann who rose and took it down. And then there you see it. I really did think the final, or the second chance for Australia, they got a bit methodical there. They were resetting well, recycling, low stall counts, and that was a nice second possession.
And there's that final scoring shot. Just nice break of force there from Alex Gan. I think it's well known at this point that the Australian national teams, they've all got their own identity. You know, open, women's, mixed, through the age divisions. They're all named after an indigenous animal, and there is no higher honour for the Australians than playing for the Crocs, the Aussie World Games side.
The Crocs, indeed. Everybody wants to be there. The most difficult selection in the country.
Alchak going short, little dish off. Nicky Priyan, oh, miscommunication. Trying to get the foot block involved maybe to get this back quickly. Australia with a really good break chance because they're already in the red zone here. Cheeky flip towards that far side. Now going central again. Quick disc movement, the order of the day, slashing down the line, a tiny little bit of showboating there from Jono Keys. And that is the first break of the game, going the Aussies' way. They're 2-1 up in this little game to 5.
Yeah, Jono Keys is the other one. He's the youngest on this team. He talked about Lotto, has played alongside Cupcake, Tom Tullett for forever. You know, going back to 2013 under-23s at least on a Goanna's team. And he's been there. He was more the defensive handler for so long. He stepped up and plays that offensive role very well. But I think it is Jono Keys that they're looking to for the future to be that backbone in the backfield for the Aussies. The man from Wollongong, you know, learned from a chiseled veteran in Tim Booth down there in Crank, and has been playing rep ultimate through the juniors into the under-24s. He played Goannas himself last year, or 2 years ago in Nottingham. And he's the one that everybody's looking to. I think he had a great Dingoes campaign, and all signs point to him just consistently being on the up and up, and he's the one that a lot of the Australian fans are hoping will fill that gap.
Now, obviously, my Australian geography is impeccable, but for those who are less worldly inclined, where's Wollongong?
The Gong, couple hours south of Sydney on the east coast.
So New South Wales.
Yes.
See, I wasn't lying, I promise.
Benji's got it all figured out.
Australia going with a zone look of their own as the wind's picking up a little bit here. It's not an idea that I hate. This is exactly the testing ground where you'd want to try and get it out. Charlotte Schall will be instrumental, I think, in helping to matriculate this disc down the field. Now instead they're going for the big shot. Haag going deep towards the back cone. That's a superb rising snag. Germany named their World Games roster, of course, 7 each gender, plus their 2 alternates, but they have a little bit of extra support here this weekend as well, just to help top up the numbers in the form of, yeah, a couple of extra names here or there. One of those extra names is Torben Haag. He caught the goal there.
Yeah, an impressive goal, particularly seeing him going between Bray and Andrews, 2 towering Australians, but played it cool. Got up big, almost as high as those socks he's wearing, and came down with a goal for the Germans.
They're not actually socks. They are proper compression sleeves, I think. Calves.
Okay. Compression sleeves.
But yeah,
that
socks.
look like socks.
They do look like socks. But they're socks in the same way that, like, footballers now and, like, NFL players, they don't actually wear socks. They're like tubes.
Get me some tubes on, bench. I've been in the tube now. We're in London. My first time on the tube last couple of days.
People give the underground a lot of flack, but I love it, he said, unbiasedly. And that is unbiased because I come from Southeast London, where the tube does not exist. Please, Transport for London, I am begging you. Sorry, I'll get off my soapbox.
Stay on it, Benji. We're happy to hear you out.
Conrad Schleur with the pull. Fielded from the floor. Adamatis goes short with the first pass, and Egan Griffiths on this sideline to Phillips. That one, oh, maybe miscommunication, but just enough edge to take it past Seibert. Adamatis with no pivot, out to McGuckin. And Gan dishes off quickly to Adamatis. They're running through this one at pace. Egan Griffiths back to Ladamatos. Surveying options, slashing all the way from the far side. Sam McGuckin makes it 3-2. Australia ran through that like lightning.
Now, wasn't that beautiful? I mean, there was an early pass in the sequence. Phillips was looking for Egan Griffiths, and Egan Griffiths had to really readjust in the backfield, make a move, and stutter back towards it. But from that point on, as you see here, it was absolutely seamless all the way up the field. No stall counts, no marks really, like especially when you see this one, just switching a pivot, shaking the mark by 3 meters, open shot into the corner. That's what Australia wants to see. That's the pace they want to be able to initiate with. If they can get that kind of pace going, knowing they've got these towers on the field and they can shoot, they're really going to stretch the defenses apart.
Glorious day here in London. The sun is out. It's sweltering. I must admit, I am a little uncomfortable. I'm not used to this. Not used to this sort of weather, but it's exactly what you want here for this showpiece event for the 5 of the 8 World Games teams sharpening up before the big dance in Chengdu in China. Plus a couple of tidy under-24 teams in the mixed division. And, of course, the Tokai Super Team. Plus a full 8 teams open and women's divisions as well. So the biggest London invite ever, 24 teams at this 4th edition of this wonderful tournament.
What a tournament. Yeah.
It just skims off the lush grass here at Grasshoppers Rugby Club, and the first pass goes short. Trying to bounce it down that far sideline. Aggressive option isn't there, so we'll take the centering pass. And trying to prioritize quick disc movement. Motoring up line there is Müller. Player open on this near side. If they can float that one over the top, they can. That's a well-judged option into the ever-comforting hands of Conrad Schleur.
Yeah, Metzger, like a butcher, slinging that blade from one side to the other. Some lateral movement, opening up the quad father, Conrad Schleur, into the corner. But beautiful blade of a throw. We've got a question in the chat as we get to have another look at this. Who won the 2 previous games, Benji?
Well, that is a very good question.
What happened on this field over here? I think it was the USA playing France. What a game.
It was. USA, I think, extended an advantage towards the end of that one to come out winners. In the other game, which I was commentating, and if you, of course, very involved, the Tokai Super Team dug themselves a big hole against the Canadians. They were down 7-4 at half.
It was horrible. It was a really tough game, and then it was awesome.
And then they scored 7 out of 8 after the break to win 11-8 and continue their undefeated record. Not bad going.
Not bad going at all. We're going to hope to keep that going forward, and we'll hope that you can all join in as we continue to move forward. Look at that. We've got the Crocs logo in there now for the Australian World Games. But yeah, as we will continue to inform you, it's free, Friendly Friday. All streams free, bringing you the action. And we know, we want to bring you the action. These teams want to get loose, and everybody's so interested.
Show, yeah.
Everybody's so interested in what they're doing. This is our chance to even watch them and keep an eye on them as they're, get really working out the knots and getting it shaking off the rust. Tomorrow it gets even tighter. And we hope that you can become a member. Hit the join button. If it's not there, 3 dots in the corner. Follow the prompts. There will be an option for you to take that will be more.
Yeah,
London invite.
You do have the option to become a fan, but if you want to watch all the games, 45 live stream games across Saturday and Sunday across 3 of the 4 pitches, and the other pitches being filmed elsewhere for release later. So eventually you will get to watch all the games from the London invite, but you want the option for more London invite access.
Yeah, and these games are not officially part of London Invite tournament. London Invite itself, as far as the pools and advancement, is a 2-day tournament, and that starts tomorrow morning.
Yeah, this is, as we mentioned, free, fun, friendly Frisbee Friday. Enough fricatives for you there, Steph?
That's enough fricatives for me, Benjamin.
Fricassee of fricatives. That pool is not particularly well filled, and the awkward roll is going to start the Crocs towards the back of their own end zone. Not that they seem to have noticed. Getting it moving quickly. Andrews, who is I think, probably the chief deep receiver for this side, and they tried to huck it to him down the sideline, and that was well recognized there by the Germans, and a big block by Verena Wollesen.
The Germans did a lot of her defensive work out in DC, playing for Scandal. Really read Cat Phillips' wind up there and put the body in the way.
Yeah, getting it done on both sides of the Atlantic. Nothing unveiling early in the stall count, and the layout block, he's going to get it back with authority.
Kia.
We are now, I think was expecting Augustin to make the move there for that little tossed backhand, and when it didn't come, it looked almighty strange. Now it's Germany's turn to huck it. This one's undercooked and straight into the awaiting arms of Gan. Getting a little bit scrappy out there, trying to shoot down the sideline. Gan able to just turn on the afterburners. There's might be a call back at the disc.
Yeah, it seems like there is maybe a travel or a violation because it wasn't in at the right spot. I'm not sure, but it's on the Egan Griffiths, the conversation, and now goal was just the hand signal was shown and then put away, so still not sure.
Yeah, Arva Müller is the player on the mark there. There's going to be a discussion. I think they are going to send it back. I wonder if maybe her momentum from the catch had taken her out of bounds and she threw it from there, which would be a travel because you do have to be in the field of play. Not quite sure what happened. Either way, everyone seems happy to reset. Be surprised to see that option go this time. Now they're ready for it, and indeed it's swung wide into the backfield for Phillips. Low layout, really well snuck there. Getting low is Andrews, and Andrews had a hell of a World Games in 2022, didn't he, Steph?
He was on fire. The deeper the Crocs went, the hotter he played. And I mean, I think he was on the world radar for one of the best bigs, one of the best aerial receivers in the world. You see him getting down, catching some shoelace catches here. But in the end zone is where he cooks. I mean, he does it everywhere. He's a great puller. He's a great defender. But I think what he proved in that last World Games was that his aerial dominance is otherworldly. And we're going to have to keep our eye out for him all weekend long there. Kaya Wea, sorry for the mispronunciation. That block earlier in the sequence was something else too. It wasn't on that same possession with multiple turns there. But really impressed with the ability to get horizontal and get in front there. It seemed undoable before it was done.
Well, to the point about Andrews, he led the World Games in goals scored last time. He scored 16 across the 5 games. The next closest, well, there are a handful of players on 12, so he didn't just outscore them, he outscored them comfortably. And even in that final, he was up there getting towering grabs, and he, I think, whereas before he might have flown under the radar a little bit, he might be, I can be sure that there'll be game plans specifically around that option this time round.
He is
even if we don't necessarily see them this weekend.
So with Crocs have 4 on the board. They could take this first short game with a break here. Germany could force the universe.
Charles. That one low down the center. That's a really good spot and pins that right on Volchak. Looking for options. Oh, lovely inside window there to find it, and Volchak getting it back and really cooking now. The toss off, is it going to go? No. Looking towards the end zone for an option. Can she squeeze it through to Haag? She can. 4 apiece. We've got a mini little universe here.
Mini-verse.
Yeah.
Really like that Diekman throw to Volchak in the middle of the possession, and from one side of half crossing into the attacking half. I thought that blew it open. From there, Volchak had a chance to get cooking and be a bit central in distribution, as she loves to do and is most efficient in doing. And even though you get a high stall count there, good line towing. And Germany force a universe for us and give us everything that we're after.
Yeah, the first of maybe a few universes in this game, because we're playing 3 small games to 5 in the end. Unusual format, but because it's Friendly Friday, the teams, they've got the captain's clause to do so as they wish. not quite at full strength for Germany, actually, because a player that I was really looking forward to seeing suit up for them this weekend and at the World Games is absent with illness, and that is business himself, Paul Herkins. Get well soon, business. He is sorely missed. He's a player whose game has grown from strength to strength, seeing him progress through the age brackets as well. Yeah, he's more than earned his shot here. It's a shame that he's not here this weekend, but hey, I guess on the bright side, it means that opposing teams don't have footage of you.
Yeah, for sure. I guess there's always a silver lining. But you know, I've got a big spot of respect for Herkins as well, and he is, I think, what Germany's top end zone deep threat option on the male matching side. So.
I think on both sides of the disc as well, because he's more than happy to take those matchups defensively. So Universe then in this first mini game. There's the deep shot. This might be undercooked. That is plucked down with authority by Greenwald.
Chance to break.
Is the rock-steady Müller. He's shooting deep, looking for Schleur. This is going to be an almighty battle up against Andrews, and the winner is nobody.
And the throw gives us the almighty battle we were begging for, but the throw doesn't let us have the jump ball. Now the other way.
Yeah, Andrews ripping it this time. I feel like the sideline's going to win that one as well. And indeed it does. Just ripples across the netting on the far side. The wind is pushing it towards that sideline, as you've seen with these last two shots.
Most aggressive attacking offense we've seen all game, and it happens on Universe, and now a very legitimate chance for Australia.
And that's why you shoot it deep, because you don't want the short field. Oh, and it's stopped!
What is going on out there?
This is absolute madness. That time the little short field block by Metzger was all important. And it's not going to matter, though, because Schleur puts too much edge on this one, I think, trying to over-counter the wind. And it goes out of the sideline on the near side.
We've had a bit of everything. Some errors, some blocks. They are fighting hard for this one, Benji.
Ladamatis to Andrews, who bodies out Schleur. It's just such a fun matchup. Continuing the break side flow. Casual one-handed grab there from Phillips. So nonchalant. Ladamatis, with the scuba, there is a pick that happened a couple of seconds ago.
Well indicated by almost everyone on the field. A whole bunch of bicep flexing out there.
Yeah, get a mark up for communication. Very good. They're going to discuss whether it affected. Phillips might well have got there, but I mean, there's a good shot that she might have had a bid, because it feels like she eases off the trigger there quite early just to avoid the collision, which is you are more than entitled to do. High stall going with the offhand. That should not have worked, but come a high stall, you try and make a play. Ladamatis looking for McGuckin in the end. This is going to be a discussion about a stall call here, though.
What a wild mini universe point. They're giving us everything here.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's been...
It hasn't been the tidiest game, but much tidier than it has up until this point. And as I said, it's not just sloppiness out there. Like their defensive plays, their little touches, fingertips on discs, a stall out here, throwing pie to Guck. So we're getting it all.
I didn't think there were pie wagon players on this roster.
No, there's not. But the Australians definitely call chucking floaty stuff to deep as throwing pie.
And that one going low. Oh, that is ludicrous. Rob Andrews might get a little bit of dirt on his jersey, but it's all worth it to secure that first mini game to 5, because Ladamatis gave him a lot of work to do there. Cometh the hour, cometh Rob Andrews, I guess.
That's twice Rob Andrews has caught a goal down where the Ants live, and it's not what we expect of him, but he's showing that he can provide the unexpected. He can take him high, he can take him low. Rob Andrews, a serious star of this game.
And you can see how hard he catches that as well, because the disc does taco slightly and bends and pinches into the middle because of the force. He was determined not to let that one slide away.
Heck of a play by Rob Andrews and the Crocs. They take the first game bench.
Yeah, we're going to take a little bit of a break as well. Those sides will kind of do the mental maths, readjust, maybe make some changes for their next little game to 5. Australia win the first. Who will win the second? We'll find out when we return. Free Frisbee Friday at London Invite.
Yeah, look, all of my friends going crazy. I gotta break on myself. What are they, spaceships from Mars? No, they're Frisbees. Watch it soar. It flies way around like a bird. You can even run for a pass. You can play all kinds of games. Isn't it amazing? Frisbee Flying Saucer. Yours at toy, drug, and department stores.
I worked for a Michelin star chef making gelato in Paris. I had my own restaurant in Nicaragua and a food truck in Australia. Why wouldn't you watch me? Check out my YouTube channel.
Lightspeed, a global venture capital firm, is proud to sponsor Team Blade, where excellence and cohesion take center stage.
Oh my goodness! That is unbelievable! And created the tip and made for it!
That was absolutely incredible!
Shopping Zillow and need a trusted resource for your real estate questions? Want to check on loan pre-approval? Reach out to HomeForce, an all-in-one home buying service engineered for ultimate players, fans, and friends. The HomeForce team provides services in real estate, mortgage financing, insurance, and much more. No pressure, no commitment, just trusted advice.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with ULTI.TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
Back at London Invite here, free Friendly Friday before the tournament kicks off in earnest tomorrow morning. I'm Benji Reese. He's Steph Rapazzo. If you're enjoying coverage, then I'm sure you'll want to tune in when it kicks off for real tomorrow morning. We've got a smattering of free games throughout the day, but if you want to watch the whole thing, Steph, how do they do that?
Well, you get on the ULTI.TV YouTube channel. If you've got a join button that you see, hit that join button. If you don't, go to the three dots in the top right corner. That will take you to a membership page. You'll have a couple options. If you want all the games and you want all 30 extra games, the more, which gives you 45 total games in the weekend. Make sure you can watch all the action live or archived. You hit that button to watch more London Invite. It will have a cost that is the equivalent to $9.99 European or whatever your currency is, and you can do just that.
Yeah, it's $8.99 in
GBPs.
Correct. I think it's $9.99 as well.
Yeah,
and that's American dollar.
I think it's $13.99 in Canadian dollars. And
yeah, I don't
possibly
know.
Aussie dues.
I don't know about dollary dues either.
Dollary dues, mate.
So another mini game to 5. Australia won the first 5-4 after after pulling to start the game as well. So they did get a mini rate up in that one. I do want to say a huge shout out, by the way, to everyone who's already signed up, becoming a member for more London Invite access. We really appreciate your support, and we wouldn't be able to bring you free pitches all weekend without that. Excellent roll stopping by Alex Gan.
Love that.
Got to commit. Ladamatas to McGuckin. Just squeaks it past the defender into Weir. And now, in and out of Phillips' hands. And Schlur is the grateful recipient. Greenwald going towards the break side. Erdmann. Back to Greenwald. Lovely inside throw to open up the space. And now trying to continue the break is Nico Müller. He's shooting for Konrad Schlur. He's got it. That's money. A break to start for the Germans.
A Cat Phillips error there. And this time it's the Germans who break early and put themselves on the board. Nico Müller, how long has he been doing it, Benji? How long has he been the center of the German attack? UMass back in 2012 or 13, I think, and it's just been, you know, bad skid at the heart of what they've been doing for much of their dominance. Okay, let's say about a decade ago is when that began, and it may be on the fade out as far as the club scene goes, but Nico Müller and his ability to inject himself and get offenses ticking around him has gone on as long as time, as far as I'm concerned.
Nico Müller had 23 assists at the last World Games across 5 games, plus a goal as well. 23 assists led the tournament, so did the 24 total. And you wondered how long has Nico Müller been the rock at the back for Germany? Well, he first donned the national team colours in 2008 at WJUC, so that's under 20s for the Open Division, where they brought home a bronze medal as well. So, yeah, nearly 2 decades. Nico Müller has been slicing and dicing.
That is incredible. And UMass was obviously 3 years later than I had anticipated.
That's the thing, because you feel like, well, he must have still been relatively young. And A, he did start young, but B, yes, because I think he was out there for like the equivalent of a postgraduate. But yeah, because he hadn't started his USAU eligibility clock, I think Zudisk were very handy to have that as a pickup.
Yeah. He just continues to impress me year in, year out. It's as though he's not affected by aging whatsoever. What a rock to have.
Yeah, and when there's been some turnover on this Germany roster from 3 years ago, he's such a calming presence to have at the back, really marshalling the offense. Again, Phillips with a bit of shape on the backhand to go back to Ladamatos. Clear plan here is to gum the middle of the field and let that wide swing go. Maybe they can catch a floaty pass. Weir to Phillips. Charles closes in. Australians at the moment just a calm, methodical progress down the field from the Crocs. That one a little bit more ambitious. Opening to Egan Griffiths. Oh, I think Priyan got a tiny tip on it. Well, she got a tiny tip on something. Evidently, that was Georgia Egan Griffiths, because the foul is quickly accepted by Priyan.
Nikki Priyan fresh off her European beach title last weekend in Poland.
Yeah, with Jinx Midnight to add to her already burgeoning stash of trophies and medals. This one, the deep shot, is going to be tightly contested. Ooh. And the pressure was just good enough from Vollerson. Matched up against the opposite number 19, Olivia Carr. Not a lot going on downfield at the moment. Here's Sontag, who will be a familiar figure to a lot of these Australians. Now danger, Diekman ripping it. This is a huge backhand that's too far for even Volchak.
Yeah, Volchak, the spark plug, another one that was over on the beach last week, but and has an incredible career doing it on the grass in the U.S. and moving around club to club in Euro Ultimate, known for her ticker and pace, but as you said, even beyond her abilities, the throw too far that time.
Yeah, a larger-than-life personality, but maybe not quite that large. Nice toe drag swag on this sideline here from Ladamatos. Good awareness. Gan for Phillips. Feels like the defensive adjustments that Germany made in between the games are working well, because not getting the same flow necessarily here, the Crocs. That's a nice little dish to McGuckin. We are underneath, no. Finding a little bit of inside shape to Egan Griffiths. Weir points, she wanted it deep. She's going to get it deep as well. Inbounds at the back of the end zone. Is she travel call on the throw from Egan Griffiths?
Well, it's a shame that one doesn't count. I loved Kaya Weir's boxing out there, a little back pedal for her last couple steps. A heck of a target, takes up a lot of space, big body, gets up, but here is...
you know what? I see Preen's point.
Yeah.
Just that...
little change.
The rounding of the corner, so to speak.
Change of direction there.
Which I think most players do subconsciously, but yeah, it is not in the rules, and Preen is within her rights to call it. Just checking everyone's ready to go and in the right place. Egan Griffiths goes into the backfield. McGuckin. Gan. High grab, well made by Phillips, and Phillips punches it in to Weir for the score. You know how those legendary figures in Australian Ultimate, you've got the Gags, both, of course, Tom and more notably in this case, Anna, who is the coach of this Crocs team. Do you think in future years we'll have people talking about the gut?
The guy, I still remember, I thought it was one of the most hilarious things I ever saw in a Brisbane Ultimate blog back in the day, where Brisbane Premier League, Sam McGuckin had a big night in, small time league, and people were talking a little bit of this and that, and it was Guck better than Gack. And everybody was, unbelievable. Like, what are you talking about? This guy's been playing for a year. Like, Gack's a legend. And McGuckin has done nothing but step up year after year and is really turned into one of the best Australian male matching players. Certainly, again, when you talk about targets, him and Andrews give you a bit of that twin tower kind of situation in the downfield position. But Sam McGuckin, up from Brisbane, living down in Melbourne and part of the Ellipsis Club now, a absolute mountain of a man, a fit rig, as the Aussies would say. He moves without bother, continuously deep in the game, and you kind of see the best out of him latest in the game, a legend.
Would he still have been in Brisbane at the time Mammoth won Aussie National?
I believe. Ooh, that's a very good question, Benji.
Australians, if you're in the YouTube chat, let me know.
His move would have been very, very close. I think I'm going to say no, he was not.
Yeah, my Aussie Ultimate history is not as good as, say, my European is. That one was underthrown and charging through to get the block. Easy stuff for Wee. He's right on the end zone line. A little flipper. That could be a call here, potentially a pick. I think this is going back. Foreman with the catch. Checked in. And must be a high stall because they're getting it all the way over the top of the stack. That's dangerous. But a delicate little punt spike there for the score in the end. And the Crocs get a break back to get it back on serve. 2-1 in this mini game to 5, with the Aussies having taken the first.
Love the throw by Keys. Love the vision first. Like, really tested to going over top of the stack there. Really backed his measure of the throw. I think that was Sontag who gave some obstruction, popping up in the lane there, but beautifully well-measured blade OI forehand out of John O'Keefe, and he does it again.
We did briefly touch on it, that Sontag and also Avamula as well will be familiar to some of this Australian contingent, because they were based out in Australia. They've represented Australia at youth levels, and of course they were a key part of Brisbane Lunchbox's run to the semi-finals of WUCC, the World Ultimate Club Championships, in Cincinnati 3 years ago now, where they picked up a bronze medal. They lost to Mixtape, I think, in the semi-finals.
Yes, and that one had a little bit of...
There was some contention about it, I think.
About a catch that was caught, that was not caught. Liam Grimmon's hand. I've seen that photo.
But they, fair play to them, they would have been disappointed, but they really responded well to take down Pooty in the third place game. Come home with a bronze medal, well earned.
Guck moved to Melbourne 2019, the year that Mammoth won, so wasn't able to join in that success.
Mammoth is such a good club,
Thank
by
you
the way.
very much. Do you know who came up with that club name?
Was it you?
It was.
Shocker. Metzger's trying to orchestrate from the back now. He finds Schlur on the far sideline, looking to get the spacing. Lead throw down the line was ambitious, and it didn't connect. Just past Greenwald. Andrews going to Maclay. And that one all was looking at the next option was Kyle O, and it wasn't there. Schutz. And Mueller, of course, not really a goal scorer, so maybe he didn't try and hop that one in as much as he could have done. Doesn't matter because he'll just find Metzger for the score.
Yeah, he wanted to keep his stats level. More assists than goals. That's what he's known for. That's what he does best. That's what he's got to keep doing.
Hey, he did score one. He did score one at World Games. To be fair, he scored one.
But in this instance, he gets back on the board with an assist. Nice upline charge there to finish the point. Another look here. Metzger looks like the long jump might work.
And once he knew he wasn't in, he was like, okay, no mess, no fuss. Let's just continue, and then that high release into space. Easy enough for Metzger. I loved how quick they were after the turn there, the Germans. They didn't hang about. They realized that the Aussies, you know, they were far downfield, and they had the numerical advantage, and they exploited it.
Look at this backhand throw. Like all the grace of a ballerina there. Just, you know, getting right up on the tiptoe, still full command of the disc in some breezy conditions.
Yeah, I think breezy is valid. It's not a particularly strong wind.
It's a strong enough breeze.
Yeah, something to be aware of, certainly.
But, you know, that's like a really light-handed release, and just so well measured by Nico Muller. 2-2 bench, so another one. We might get another mini-universe, Manu-universe.
Yeah, 2 little ducks on the scoreboard for you. Breaking out my bingo parlance. Ball. And towards that far sideline on the roll. Not fielded cleanly there by Prentice. Can she find an option off the line? Goes into the backfield for Ladamatos. Wide swing to this near side. Phillips, who is getting a lot of touches, as you would expect. Little breather because there's a pick in the center.
Yeah, as you would expect. I mean, Kat Phillips, one of the best female matching players in the world. 4 years, she was, you know, a professional AFL, Australian Football League, women's AFL player.
If you've never watched AFL, it is bonkers.
Bonkers, but requires so much athleticism. Bonkers, but once you start to get to know it and see what they're all up to.
Physical.
Oh, goodness, it is impressive. And, you know, for her to be able to be at the upper echelon of that sport and then still, you know, be a dual sport athlete, be at the top of both of them, and a very impressive athlete, Kat Phillips. And now, you know, for decades, she won a gold medal, one of, I think, Australia's only on-grass gold medal at juniors back in Italy back in somebody help me in the chat, but before 2010, perhaps. Benji's gonna get there. We won't have to.
I'm gonna see. You know, I made notes, and hopefully this is in there.
Yeah, Benji. That is 2010. What did I say?
Yeah, well done. 23's 2010. Lovely laid over the top there. Prentice. There's a deep shot. Gonna maybe invite a little bit of coverage. Not a problem for Alex Gann. A superbly measured throw. Big slap of the hands to McGuckin. And Oz again getting their noses slightly in front. 3-2.
Yeah, that's throwing your player on, but I thought Gann had good separation, but when it was like opposite side of the field on the break side there, Guck got it with just enough space. With plenty of space, really, to throw open and made Gann make it look easy there.
I mean, you could see, I don't think who's marking there. Yeah, but I think it was Greenwald initially who was on Gann who caught the goal. And you see him point deep like, help please, and it just wasn't coming in time. And Gann, yeah, goes up nice and early, nice and big. Doesn't make it too hard to catch as well. Keeps that plane nice and level. Creates the backboard with the chest as well.
I'm not sure how many members of that 2010 Australian gold medal
still playing.
Team still play, but 2 members of this team are still together. The coach, Anna Ragaki, was the coach of that team, gold medaling back in 2010, and of course, she is the most decorated coach in Australia. They've got some great coaches down under as well. The staff here, of course, Yui and Steve Wright, Dan Rule, one of the great coaches in Australia. But yeah, Anna right at the top, and her and Kat have been doing it for some time on the same teams.
Miller finds the slice through the center to Preen, and now gets it back. Little dish to Sontag.
We're looking at a zone, Benji.
We are indeed. And I like it from Australia because we mentioned that it is a bit breezy, a bit gusty potentially. And so you try and get them off rhythm. Again, you want to try and sharpen things up before World Games. Here's the transition. Going to go into a match defense. Sontag short to Charles. Spreads it wide. Sister Charlotte. Zips the inside. Diekman fakes the high release. And normally if he wants the high release, he's got it as well. Oh, just past the bidding keys. Preen. Looking at an option. Charles as Georgia Egan Griffiths. They passed off that gender match. But it was more than anything the face mark there that Preen took advantage of.
Yeah, just had her turned around. Egan Griffiths kind of turned that right shoulder, put her eyes on Shaw, and then probably, you know, realized in the moment that she had got herself blinded on the play once she got isolated here, and Preen did a good job taking advantage, especially with the Egan Griffiths slip there.
Yeah.
Great play by Preen and Jonathan Shaw to be able to isolate and capitalize.
Yeah, they passed off the switch actually pretty seamlessly because when the bid came from Keys, he knew that if they didn't switch there, then the goal is wide open. So they do so, and then, yeah, as soon, especially with Egan Griffith slipping, it's so difficult to regain that position, and the battle's mostly lost.
3-3, Benji. We've got all the potential for another universe.
Yeah, 1-0 in front in terms of the mini games to 5 are the Australians. Lovely weather here in London. Not that you'd ever expect anything else, of course. The UK famed for its glorious weather.
This is not what I was expecting at all, Benji. The weather I was expecting in London, I got on Wednesday night upon arrival. Grey skies and gloomy over the Tower Bridge in the Thames.
Don't know what you're on about.
I had a great time in town, though.
Now, obviously, I am biased because London is my hometown. But yes, I think it's easy to forget how much cool and interesting stuff there is there once it becomes part of the day-to-day. Here's Australia trying to check in on offense again. Quick break there from Gan to Ladamatos. A rise, not a problem for Phillips. He's got such an aggressive stance with the disc. Begin to swing to Weir and has it. Around to McGuckin. Oh, that's a riser. He beats off Sontag to get it. Gan. Stop chortling at the back there. Gan again. Now trying the break around to McGuckin. This is slow and methodical. And there's the inside slice, and Phillips dropped it.
Oh, and where the patience the whole way in, the possessions were...
It was the right option as well.
It was. It just thrown just a bit behind and just a bit of slip on the catch, and now Germany going the other way.
Just a bit hard, maybe.
Edge.
That always makes me nervous, but Sontag stuck it well. I'm not sure about the shot. Volleser nearly rewarded it. In the end, good enough defense there from Carr. McGuckin. Looking for Ladamatos. The wind whips up a little bit. Weir. Nice inside find, squaring up the hips there. Gan downfield. Phillips is gone, and I think they recognize that on the force, and Haag very wisely sags off in that space. Ladamatos to Gan. Lovely short area quickness and burst there from Ladamatos. The edge takes it past Diekman into the end zone for a 4-3 Aussie lead.
I thought the last possession was the better possession. There's still nice finish there to get it back. The tough going by Volleson. I thought she really read that well with Carr draped on her down the other end. She high pointed it well, got her fingertip to it. Yes, the Crocs did a good job moving it back to the other end. Great work. They're even more tired this time. That isolation step really opens things up. But yeah, still was just in a bit of shock that the last one did slip through. It was looking like such a nice possession until that very last throw on the possession prior.
Let's talk about the German coaching setup here, because in charge for them you have Henning Freda and Ian French. And let's just focus on Frenchy, because you might realise that's not a particularly German name.
No, it's French, isn't it?
He's not a particularly German guy.
No, he is an Irishman, back on the sidelines at the bench boss. He did it with Ranelagh. The last time he played, it was in the Open Club division. They had a pretty good year that year.
Yeah, 2022, a shock European Championship. You know, that's something that they targeted throughout the season, where a lot of clubs were maybe trying the double peak. For them, Euros was always the end goal, and they did it superbly, and of course was part of the coaching system behind the Irish women's gold medal campaign at EUC out in Győr in Hungary in 2019. And given how chaotic that tournament was at times, to rise above it and come through as strong, clear champions was credit to the players and also the coaching that put them in those structures to succeed.
Better everyday coaching. Check him out, Frenchie, online. He's always writing articles, giving advice, and well worthy of a look.
And also, if I know Frenchie, Germany will absolutely not be showing their full hand this weekend. Yes, they'll try some things out, but yeah, certainly they'll have lots more wrinkles to unveil at the World Games. Sky-scraping blade from Metzger, but Schlur bodies out to make the catch. 4 apiece. We've got another mini-universe.
Mini-universe.
Mini-verse.
What a throw by Metzger. Another blade. Great choice. A gender mismatch in the corner there. Conrad Schlur exposing the zone, the back of the zone there, being the bigger body in a nice find by Metzger here to just put it back corner and really give very little chance for that to be anything but a Germany goal.
Yeah, Germany were a break-up early in this game to 5, and then Australia did get it back. Germans will have to find a break again if they are to win this second of the 3 games to 5. Nice, fun, free Frisbee Friday for you here at the London Invite.
Benji, Tobafit. I know that's Toba de Krana.
Former super team athlete,
Former Tokai super team athlete is Boston Glory, Boston Dig, and just one heck of a young gentleman. Belgium under 24, you can't forget that as a current
silver medalist 2 years ago, and we represented him again in Logroño in not very long at this point. What, just over a week away?
Yeah.
Come around quick.
I can't wait for that too. There's just so much Ultimate right now. There's so much awesome Ultimate here in Europe. He wanted to know what happened in that game. He's been informed in the chat. Toba, we went down 7-4 and then went on a monster run to win 11-8.
Yeah, 7 of the 8 points after half there for the super team. They are up in action again at 6 o'clock in the last round of our free Frisbee Friday for you. They're taking on the 2-time reigning European champions, Deep Space.
Coming up next.
Not a bad matchup. In the meantime, though, Australia are going to try and win this mini-verse point. And really try to represent. Oof. And foul called, I think, there by George or Egan Griffiths.
That was foul.
Either way, yeah, it's going to go into Egan Griffiths' grateful hands. Yeah, that is a strip. You do see it. The clap catch did come just about in time. Phillips airing it out, shooting deep towards the back of the end zone for Weir, who did not even have to break stride. A superb shot from Cat Phillips. Not that we're expecting anything else at this point. And the Australians taking the second of these mini games, 5-4, once more.
That is a pair for them. That is a win of the series. I know that they'll keep playing. I assume that they'll keep playing. I don't know. They are clapping hands amidst themselves, but not with one another yet, in any sense.
Because this isn't official tournament play, just, again, a free, friendly Friday. you know, there is very much captain's clause in effect, and the teams can can choose to play the games how they wish, and they've chosen the mini games to 5 here. And yeah, the second of those, as you see there, Australia capturing as well. Now, it's a pleasure to be able to bring you the Friday action, but the tournament does kick off in earnest tomorrow morning. We do have free games littered throughout the weekend for you, but if you want to watch the whole thing, well, you need to subscribe. Well, not subscribe, you need to join. You should be liked and subscribed anyway, of course. This is assuming that you are.
That too.
Yeah, and then you want to click the join button in YouTube, or if you don't see the join button, click the 3 dots up in the top corner, and then from there, there's a couple of options. The option you want to select is More London Invite Access, and that will get you coverage of every single game that we are streaming this weekend.
How many do you think there's going to be, Bench?
Carry the one. At least 2. 45 games for you.
This is exceptional math, Benji. 45.
And it's not just this. It's not just this stacked mixed division as well. There's full open and women's division. So much ultimate to be able to bring you over the course of this glorious London Invite weekend. Let's take a little bit of a breather and say some thank you to our wonderful supporters and sponsors who are helping us to put the coverage on this weekend. We appreciate all your help, and we couldn't do it without you. And we'll rejoin you just in time for our next little mini game to 5 here on Friday at London Invite.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with ULTI.TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
I gotta brag on myself.
What are they, spaceships from Mars? No, they're Frisbees. Watch it soar. It flies way around like a bird. You can even run for a pass. You can play all kinds of games. Isn't it amazing? Frisbee Flying Saucer. Yours at toy, drug, and department stores.
Back at Free Frisbee Friday at the London Invite, a little teaser for all the action we have to come here on ULTI.TV this weekend. A pleasure to be bringing you action of what is sure to be a bumper weekend. Make sure you join us for more London Invite access. Meanwhile, with the matter at hand, Germany and Australia, we're playing 3 little mini games to 5 here, just trying to create those late and replicate those late game scenarios. Australia have won both of them so far, 5-4. We're going to have one more soon to get underway here. I'm Benji Reese. He's Steph Patso. What did Germany need to do to come out on the winning side of this one, Steph?
I mean, not too much. Obviously, getting to universe point situations. Maybe show a few more of their wrinkles. Come on, show them their Frenchie. But really just, hold their medal right through to the end. They've had a couple late game errors that have given Australia the advantage and put those away. And these games are there for the taking. There is not much major adjustment required.
Yeah, and it's kind of what you expect when you have 2 World Games teams battle against each other, that the margins are going to be tight. Be slightly disappointed if they weren't. Pigeon on the mark. Proved ourselves as a dynamite receiver at under 24s a couple of years ago out in Nottingham. Here's Charles shooting deep, looking for Priyan. And did she get all of that before the defender came in? I don't know if she did.
Yeah.
James Bray closed just about in time.
I thought I had a very nice view of that, and we're going to get another look again, but I thought it was very clean. It was just prior to that time. We didn't see it, but I thought James Bray got it clean. Nikki had a chance to touch it, but certainly didn't close hand on it.
Don't hate taking on the shot, but good help defense peeling off the back. Here's the shot from Egan Griffiths. And Volchak just ran her deep, and that allowed Sontag for the easiest of interceptions, and that one somehow eludes Jakob Diekman. Big swing around, but Kylo has the position and should get that one. Into the center. Ian going towards the far side. Now shot deep once more. This one's going to hang. And Rob Andrews is always going to be the favorite up against Charlotte Charles, unfortunately, for Charles' sake.
Heck of a route run by Charles. I think she did everything she could to stay in the way. But the rise above ability by Rob Andrews put onto display there. Well, he is a leapable man. And
I was going to say, I would say leapable means that he can be leapt. I don't think anyone is leaping over Rob Andrews.
He is a leaper.
That is for sure.
That is his leaping on display for us all. That is what we've come to expect. In the first mini game, we saw him catching goals down by his shoelaces. This time, we're seeing what he's a little bit more notorious for.
Yeah, really using that field stretching ability. So having taken the first 2 mini games on Universe.
First 2 games went to Universe, both 5-4 to Australia.
I've got an early break in this one, which means if the team's traded out from this position, it would be a 5-4 Aussie win again. Both sides will claim it's all about the bigger picture here, but no one likes to lose, let's be real.
No.
Certainly I don't anyway.
No, me either, Benji. Never in the plans. And that is maybe a thing here where I think all these teams, of course, you play to win, especially when you're at this level of elite nature. Like, you are bred and conditioned to, if you're, lacing up and you're putting the emblem on your chest or on your back, you're playing to win. However, there is still that hold your cards. There is still reservation. We've got a little bit of time to learn and develop here. But that's really hard to totally embrace sometimes.
You're talking about where once you don the flag, the real animal comes out. Come back to that point in a little bit after this point.
All right, bench.
Volchak, oh, an outrageous inside-out backhand across the field to Volleson. That is a filthy throw from Volchak. And I feel like, yeah, she's underselling. What an absolute dime that was. She dropped it on a sixpence.
I don't even think she's underselling it. I think she just, get a little shoulder shrug like, what? Why are you surprised?
Yeah, you
That's what I
cool.
do.
That's what I do. It makes you look better.
I make that stuff look easy, and she does. Levka Volchak, one of the great stars of this game as well. You see her chisel into that one and just step into the inside-out backhand, the perfect float. Right to the corner, plenty of room, no toe drag or second guessing whether you got to play your toes on that. Just run right into it. A perfect setup for a goal for Germany on the Volchak dime.
Put that in one of London's many avant-garde art galleries.
Now, Benji, you were talking about donning the national emblems, and you had something to share.
Well, yes, because if you might notice that on the back of the Australian jersey, there are 3 flags up there. The one in the centre is the one we all know. That's the Australian flag with the Southern Cross on it. But there's another flag either side.
Yeah, the Australian Indigenous flag on the left, and the Torres Strait. Let me make sure I get it right. Torres Strait Islander flag on the right. Great representation, all of the custodians of the lands that are inhabited by Australians.
Yeah, that's a good find on the sideline there, the Aboriginal flag on the socks of John O'Keefe, I think that is. See, this is why it's such a pleasure to work with ULTI.TV, because they notice, they find these things. I say they like they're a faceless entity, they're our wonderful, hard-working crew.
Yeah, a hard-working crew who are integrated into this community, know the game, love the game, can follow the game, and can help us bring exceptional coverage of the game to you in your homes on your screens.
Eddie doing a bang-up job on cam 2 and making us look very clever. Got Rob on cam 1 for this game, and Rex pushing the knobs and buttons on the desk.
Rex and effects.
That's really sticky dunk coverage by Müller, and then laid in the stall, just about finds Egan Griffiths. Ladamatas on the far side. Phillips stretching it deep. This disc could go here. It does indeed over the defender. Can Schala close in time? No, he gets suckered underneath it. The most terrible turbulence for Schala because it just about evades him, and Phillips collects.
Yeah, just about evades. Schala did a great job chasing that down, snaking around, trying to find a line to it, but it was Phillips who just hung onto her line, was not thrown off by the defense, did not try and play the defender, go up early, just kept moving forward, waited to see if Schala was going to...
It's such an easy thing to do. You see someone going up early for it, and you feel like you have to. But if you feel like that's actually, I'm not in a position to get it there, then you have to fight that instinct. And yeah, trust your read on it. Schala was always expecting that throw to go. You could see him sitting off deep. As soon as it went, he charged into that space, but wasn't enough to stop the inevitable Cat Phillips.
2-1. Same score in the game as the series right now. Or 2-0, sorry, in the series. My apologies. 2-1 in the mini game. Australia has been ahead and stayed ahead throughout.
Yeah, again, just this series of mini friendlies here on Friday. These two sides, as it stands, will not meet each other at the World Games. They're in opposite pools because the World Games evidently looked at the pools for the London invite and decided, oh, that looks good, we should copy those. Yeah, that is, of course, in case anyone from the higher-ups is listening, we're not suggesting that that's actually what happened. We know that it's random pool draw. We know that Charlie and Brian went into the bag and pulled out the balls like they do for the FA Cup draw. But it is funny that that is how it worked out, completely of its own accord. And again, we'll probably add a little bit of extra spice to the games here, knowing that you'll meet each other at the World Games. Here's Müller looking deep for Greenwald. Absolute money. The Germans have the deep game firing in this contest.
Who threw that, Benji? Yes.
Nico Müller.
Yeah, yes, the guy that the camera was on immediately after the throw. Nico Müller does it again. And, you know, offense can be made to look so easy when you can set up shots like that. Get your... this chase to the sideline was incredible to keep the disc alive. That has to be said. But then get it to the middle. Nico Müller steps into a backhand. The separation for Greenwald... it didn't even matter because that throw was so perfect. But why not throw to the right option too and make it look that much more easy, that much more open?
Well, that's what Australia had actually done a very good job of so far in these little mini games, was kind of stopping that big play element of Germany's offense. You know, when Müller's got the disc, he will not have a deep option go. That time the connectivity wasn't there from the downfield defenders, and Nico Müller's eyes lit up.
Now, looking down the line, you know, the super team, the Tokai super team warming up to take on Deep Space, the European champions.
Two-time European champions behind us.
Thank you. Maddie Sang has wandered over, doing some scouting, of course, when in their downtime. That would suggest that USA and Canada are finished with their game. Maddie Sang having a chat on the sideline just next to our booth, and
I know you
obviously very keen to see what these two teams are doing. One that beat them last time at the World Games, one that met them in the final and really pushed them in the second half.
Germany didn't just beat USA at the World Games, they pantsed them, to be honest. It's 13-7. It wasn't close, and it's great for the sport because I think it showed USA, you know, they can't put their foot off the gas because teams are more than good enough to punish them. And I think that's the third World Games in a row where USA have lost a game in the pool phase, but they've come out on the gold medal regardless, as Australia that time, nice, calm, smooth inflow into the end zone to mark the play. Blinking, you'll miss it stuff there from the Crocs.
Yeah, that was a fast and efficient offensive possession. I loved seeing it. Let's have another look here. As you say, blink and you miss it.
I mean, this is how offense is supposed to look, because obviously you have the advantage that you know where you're going and what you're trying to do, and the opposition doesn't. But that throw there, Sontag just gets caught. We've seen players get punished for face marking. That time it's the opposite. He takes his eyes off his matchup, and that's exploited with the slash in behind him, and the throw goes out early and into space from McGuckin. Yeah, just a very good job there of sealing out Jonas and Charles. One of the World Games alternates for Germany, of course, his sister, Charlotte, who kind of wears the inverse of the numbers. He wears 57, Charlotte wears 75, and will be part of that World Games roster in Chengdu.
I was very excited to see Charlotte Schall on the roster, but it was another. I was like, that's another potential for non-returning Tokai super team player. We miss Charlotte Schall, a great member of the team last year, as well as Lev Kovalchuk on this German side.
And Charlotte really shot to prominence at EUC in 2023. Like, I mean, people were aware of her ability through the youth divisions, but you know, Anna Gerner, who for a long time had been kind of the rock of the Germany offense and was at the World Games, you know, was the key part of that EUC women's O-line. She went down injured. And how do you feel a player like that? Well, you just plug Charlotte Schall in, and if anything, somehow it looked better. And that was just testament to her maturity, really. And then she demonstrated it in the club season with BFD Shout as well.
Yeah, has matured, and you're absolutely right, Benji. That was the breakout for Charlotte, taking them right to that gold medal.
And then knocked off Great Britain in the final. Preen now with the away shot, looking for Haag. Absolute money. Again, Germany's deep game has been on song in the last of these 3 little mini games to 5.
And you saw Haag's eyes light up there. I think he even like stuck his tongue out, if I saw that correctly, but saw how perfect it was. He knew he was in great position. And Nikki Preen, another one that has just been through and through the years at Elite Ultimate. She does it on the beach. She does it on the grass. World Games, multiple representation. And look at that perfect outside in, back of the end zone. A good chase by Weed to try and get a blind arm up, but with throws like that from Preen.
I mean, it's the right edge on this from Preen. She puts air underneath it, and that outside in edge, which sits it over the defender, leading it towards the break side, where Haag has the position.
3-3, Benji. We are ticking away to another mini-verse potential.
We are indeed. And Australia won the first 2 mini-verse points. We'll see if we get to a third, who comes out on top. The cloud cover has come overhead, which is nice, to be honest, because it has cooled the complex a little bit somewhat.
Were you were hot this morning?
I'm not really built for hot weather, to be honest.
Not me either, really, but I tend to like it. I don't know, like
you've lived in both Nicaragua and Australia. I think you do all right in hot weather.
I guess so. I sweat a lot, though, Bench. Too
and
much TMI.
To be fair, you lived in South Korea, and that can also be pretty muggy.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that.
That disc, has it got the edge to take it in bounds? Magnificent pull.
More of that. That was scintillating. Perfect spot. Excellent float and hang time.
Couldn't go up and attack it as well because it was out of the sideline. Yeah. Oh, and that one just about completes to McGuckin. And I felt like he wanted to pull the trigger, but he recognized that he was getting a little ahead of himself there. McClay. Kaya Weir shooting. Big matchup downfield, and McGuckin seals off the defender, Schlur. If Germany are going to win, it will have to be with a hold and then a break on the mini-verse point.
Well, let's see if they can materialize. I thought Germany did enough to generate a turn there. The hand in the lane, the bobble in the block, and somehow McGuckin gets the bailout. And then they just keep front foot forward. Weah sends an absolute perler. A Guck versus Schlur contest, but McGuckin always had position there. And with position, there's very little you can do to slow down the Guck.
Australia then getting ready to pull. Germany know that they will have to get the hold here to take it to the third miniverse. Going with the rolling pull this time. Greenwald doesn't completely stop it. Müller picks up. Libert. Fake once, twice. Low grab by Greenwald. Big pump fake of the overhead. Ripping the blade down the sideline to Schlur. And for the third game in a row, it's miniverse.
Miniverse, miniverse, miniverse. 3 in a row, Benji. Is
Exactly what you want to see.
Is it going to go the same way? Is it going to be Australia? They're going to hold. They're going to start on offense first. Chance to hold rather than break. They've had the benefits, and they've been able to come out on top. Can Germany pull one off here?
Germany, I mean, obviously they want to pull one off here, but you know, if they've got a plan in mind, they've got this devious defense that they're going to pull out on Universe at the World Games. I don't think they'd pull it out here. I imagine they'll probably just go hard, strict match defense, back yourself to win the matchup, come out on top. Games should all be local recorded, so you can watch them back later. Don't know if you're able to hear this, but if you're watching this on replay, then you know anyway.
As Benji said, those of you watching live, we have had some lags. We're working things out. That's the other great thing about Free Friendly Friday, is it gives us a chance to get everything cooking and in defined form for the big stuff as the weekend cooks forward.
Disc in the air to pull then from Ava Müller. Rips it down the center of the pitch. With Ava pulling, it means we'll have 4 female, 3 male matching players as the disc just about edges out of bounds on the far sideline. Alex Gann will take it from the brick. Not far from Heathrow Airport, so you'll see a lot of planes flying overhead. Gann hustles the last couple of steps to the brick mark. Wee takes off deep. Charles trying to pass that off, but they've not done it well. If this is in bounds, it's victory for Australia, and they've done it again. Mark Wee are leaking out of the back. No one got eyes, no one got a lid on it, and it's a calm, clean hold on Miniverse, and the Australians win this little 3-game set, 5-4.
5-4, 3-0, 15-12 total points, however you want to chalk it up. Aussies inch ahead, looking just better each time, but to do it 3 in a row is a little bit of a show of their superiority, let's say. They've shown to be just that much better for 3 games in a row here, and they'll be very excited taking this forward in the tournament. How about going forward in the tournament, Benj?
Well, the tournament, of course, starts properly tomorrow, but one more round of games here on Free Frisbee Friday. USA taking on Australia, Germany against Canada, Super Team up against Deep Space as well. And then, yes, action kicks off fully tomorrow morning, and we will have a smattering of live games throughout the weekend. If you want to watch the whole thing, then it is only here on ULTI.TV that you can do that, and you can do that by becoming a channel member. Click the join button. If you don't see it, there's 3 little dots in the top right. You want to select more London invite access, and that gets you 45 live stream games over the course of the weekend. On behalf of our wonderful ULTI.TV crew and Steph Patso alongside me, Benji Reese, we'll see you on the other side.
Thank you. Thanks.
ULTI.TV.